Apple is a company in the portfolio that's been doing great, so why would I sell? Before we get into the 5 reasons as to why I'm selling my Apple position, I think it's important that we should go over Apple's earnings released on January the 30th. Just looking at the numbers, everything looks great. Apple beat revenue by 4%, beat their EPS by 10%, had a service growth of 14%. And although they saw a slight decrease by 1% in the iPhone sales, they did have an increase in Mac and iPad sales, both totaling around 15%. But the decrease in iPhone sales is not the reason that I'm selling. So why would I? Reason number one is Apple sitting at a PE ratio of nearly 40. This is the highest that the PE ratio has been since the bull market of 2021, and over the last couple of months, Apple's been sitting at the highest price point it's ever been at. But just the PE ratio and the all-time high in stock price isn't enough reason for me to sell my shares. Reason number two being that I believe Apple is at fair value. I don't want fair value, I want undervalued. I want stocks that will have a higher chance of performance, and something like Apple, although a very solid and sound company, has little upside in comparison to some of the other stocks we can buy. If we look at predictions going into this year and fair price estimates, Apple's range falls somewhere between 240 and 260, which Apple's already sitting there at 246, which kind of leaves me a little bit bearish on future gains going into this year. Reason number three being that I want some cash on hand because I'm kind of expecting a little bit of a pullback in the current market, and I want to be able to allocate that cash towards some of my other positions that I believe have more upside. And that leads me into reason number four, with reason number four being I believe I can actually get a better return out of some of those other companies or other companies that I might just come across and find good deals on. That being said, I don't think Apple's a bad stock, nor do I think that Apple's going to go down anytime soon. All I'm saying is that I think Apple's returns will be far less than some of the other companies that I can purchase for a cheaper price right now. And my fifth and final reason as for why I'm selling off my Apple shares is Apple's dividend is not worth holding on to. Apple's dividend yield is sitting at a 0.41%, and I just don't believe it's worth holding on to for the long term, as it doesn't really offer the investor that much of a return on their capital. If the stock's not going to be doing some hyper growth like 15 to 20% per year, I feel like the dividend should at least be closer to 4 or 5%. Even on the cash just sitting in my sidelines on the Robinhood accounts getting 4.5%, which I believe is still a solid return for what it is, but I'm looking to allocate that to a hyper stock. To be fully transparent, I already sold off my shares this morning during pre-market. We did take around a 9% gain on those, somewhere around $200 in profits. Keep an eye out for a video coming soon, as I will probably move these profits into something else. And don't forget to subscribe for a donut.